What an NBA Finals game that was. OKC at Indiana, game 4. And honestly, if you put from the start of the first quarter, from the jump, all the way to the end of the fourth quarter, together, that was all around, that was the best game of the series. It was close. I think the Pacers only got up to a 10-point lead. OKC only got up to the 7-point lead they ended with. All around, the best game of the series. And here's where I want to start off. Right here, I was thinking this throughout the game, and Candace Parker summed it up the best in the post game on NBA TV. I just saw this. J-Dub got them there, Caruso kept them there, and SGA took them home. That perfectly sums up how the Oklahoma City Thunder stole Game 4 on the road. A crucial Game 4 is always a crucial game. No matter if you're going for the sweep, the gentleman sweep, it doesn't matter. It's always a crucial game, and especially in this situation. OKC could not afford to lose Game 4, and now I believe the Indiana Pacers could not have afforded to lose this game the way they did. They lost it when it felt like they had control the whole game. You know, it felt like they had the Thunder playing into their hands. They had SGA looking like he was just out of it. The only thing they had going for them was Caruso, who kept them there, and J-Dub, who was getting his. But other than that, Chet Holmgren didn't look that effective. Hartenstein wasn't effective. And SGA damn sure wasn't effective until the end of the third quarter when he started rolling. But it's like Game 4 was just it had such high stakes to it, because you think about it, the Pacers are not supposed to be here. The Thunder are one of the best teams of all time, best regular season teams of all time we've seen. Historic regular season, historic record, historic defense, just everything the Thunder was. They're one of the best teams of all time, no doubt. But the Pacers had them in the bag for a 3-1 lead over one of the best teams of all time. And honestly, the Thunder just took it out of their hands. You know, whether it was on defense, they started switching in the fourth quarter, where they saw Halliburton wanted to switch on Shea. He got the switch on Shea, step back three, blocked. He got the switch on Holmgren a couple times. Holmgren held his own down the stretch and got stops on Halliburton. They didn't allow Pascal to get touches down the stretch. Their defense, or it was their offense, with Shea just 15 points in the fourth quarter. He came alive. That's what big players do. You know, in the beginning of the game, throughout when the Pacers had all the momentum going, Obi Toppin over here putting putbacks, Obi Toppin into 2 straight threes. I was like, when the Thunder were trying to get their offense going, where is Shea? What is Shea doing? He doesn't look like he's trying to get the ball. He doesn't look like he's trying to attack. He doesn't look like he is trying. He doesn't look MVP Shea. You know, he doesn't look like the MVP of this league. He just looks like an all-star, maybe out there. Not even an all-star. He just looks like a good player. And I was like, maybe Shea just doesn't have it in him to go get buckets at will when his team really needs it. When he needs to force his way to go get those buckets. But I was wrong. When that fourth quarter hit, completely different player. Complete MVP. Give that guy the MVP, no doubt. That guy is the undisputed MVP. That's what he looked like in the fourth quarter. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 15 points in the fourth quarter. 4 in the first, 8 in the second, 8 in the third, but 15 in the fourth. 35 points he ended with. What an incredible performance. You know, a little push-off at the end, like push-off travel there, you know, letting the extender, letting everybody get away. And I want to say, first, let's talk about the refereeing of this game. Terrible. 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 You know, there's a reason for the calls. You can get a reason on almost every call in the NBA. You know, the ref's going to have a reason. You know, it might be a ticky-tack call, blah, blah, blah. But it felt like every damn time there was just some type of contact, it was a foul call. You know, Scott Foster's out there. He's going to be the talk of the town tomorrow. You know that. But here's why I have an issue with the foul call. Because the way this NBA playoffs has been officiated throughout has been lenient on aggression, lenient on the physicality of the game. They were letting defenders be physical. They were letting physicality go. They were letting these tough rebounds, you know, when the people are boxed down, you know, a little tug at the jersey ain't going to get you a call. But it felt like every damn time there was a call this game, and that just affects how teams play. Because when you're used to being able to play physically throughout the playoffs and everybody's trying to match physicality, and then when you match physicality, you get penalized for it. So it just affects how every team plays. And here's another thing. I really think how the officiating benefited OKC. Whether it was intentional or not, they were with all the officiating and all the stoppages, That allowed OKC to catch their breath, get back into it, and ultimately be fresh for the fourth quarter. Because Chet Holmgren looked fresh in the fourth quarter. J-Dub was getting his buckets in the fourth quarter. And Shea, ultimately, the most fresh one in the fourth quarter. All those free throws, all those stoppages where I had to hear Scott Foster, I had to look at Scott Foster during the replays that take way too long. 1 minute timer on the replays. Put a 1 minute timer on the replays, Adam Silver. There is no need for me to be looking at an official for 4 minutes or 5 minutes for a replay to go for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes. 5 times in a finals game. That's why the ratings would be down. Not because of the teams. It's because of the way this. Half of the reason because of the way this replay thing is happening. You know, it's like everybody's talking about the ratings because it's going to be the Pacers and the Thunder. No, well, guess what? Get Scott Foster off my team, and I won't change the channel to WWE SmackDown and see what's going on with John Cena. Jeez. But yeah, that takes way too long. If you can't figure it out in a minute, go with the call that was on the floor. But yeah, the officiating, I believe this benefited the Thunder. You know, a lot of calls against the Pacers that more so benefited the Thunder. The fouls were kind of even, but I feel like, you know, when you get to what the call was and the time of the call, it would definitely benefit the Thunder more. But also, they benefited from the extra rest, those free throws and those replays gave them down the stretch. They were able to benefit, catch their breath, and get extra rest off of all the stoppages in this game, off of all the foul calls in this game. Which, of course, benefited Shea. Looked like a completely different player in the fourth compared to Game 3, where the Pacers absolutely outpaced the OKC Thunder. You just looked tired at the end of the game. They didn't have nothing left because the Pacers' pace is just consistent up and down the court, up and down the court, up and down the court. But with all the fouls he was able to draw, Neesmith reaching, you reach, I teach Neesmith, man. Neesmith gets his hand stuck in the cookie jar every damn possession. Jesus, how's that possible? But yeah, Shea is really good with locating that hand on his body and able to draw that foul. Quickly going up with the shot when he sees a hand on him. And he's going to get the call. I mean, it is a call. Yeah, that was the problem I had with this game. Officiating. And that was it. The only problem was the officiating. That was awful. It was awful. You're going to hear about it. It was awful. But here's the stats. Thunder win 111 to 104. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 35 to lead the Thunder in scoring. Who led the Pacers in scoring? Pascal Siakam with 20. Halliburton with 18. Miles Turner, brutal shooting night. 0 for 6 from 3. He had that crucial 3 where Chet absolutely locked out Halliburton when he got the switch. He passed it out. Miles Turner absolutely, I think, airballed the 3. He was getting cooked by the Cornet closeouts. What's his name? Jesus, I just said it. I mean, Hartenstein was getting those Cornet contests, those Cornet closeouts where he just jumps with his hand in the air, and he was getting cooked by them 0 for 6 from 3. And also, Halliburton, terrible shooting night, 1 for 7 from 3. Pascal, very aggressive through 3 quarters, did not get as much touches as I thought he should have, and that's going to be a topic tomorrow too. Pascal Siakam not getting enough touches down the stretch when he's clearly been their best player scoring-wise in this series. Neesmith, too many fouls. Neesmith needs to stop these fouls. Nembhard, he played better in the last game. Obi Toppin played amazing. TJ McConnell, he wasn't too much of a game changer. It wasn't game 3. But Shea just had 35 points, 10 free throws, 1 3, 0 assist. Won that game. Holmgren in the fourth quarter, not only really effective on defense. When he came in, it felt like, OKC was flowing more so than when he was in the game. 2 clutch within like 3 to 2, I think within 2 minutes. 2 clutch offensive rebounds, second chance points, something OKC has not gotten a lot in this series with second chance points, and 2 clutch in the fourth quarter offensive rebounds turning to dunks, put back dunks for Chet Holmgren. 4 clutch points. He had 6 points in the fourth quarter, 14 points to end the game. Defensive rebounding, complete rebounding machine. 11 defensive rebounds, 4 offensive rebounds, 15 rebounds in total. 14 points, 15 rebound, double for Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams, I said when the All-NBA to myself, when the All-NBA teams came out, I said, Jalen Williams, All-NBA third team. And I'll give that to my boy Tyler Hero over Jalen Williams. Guess what? The last 2 games, he has completely proved me wrong. He has been aggressive. He's been looking like Shea, getting to the free throw line, drawing these fouls on Pacers defenders that have been winning them these games. 27 points this game, 26 points last game. He's had, I think he had 11 free throws this game. He went to the line 8 times, I think, last game. changing the game is Jalen Williams, something I did not expect to see in games 3 and 4. Because he's just so underrated, and I doubt him as an all-star. But I have to get used to it. He is good. He is that good in that mid-range shot. I like it. He needs to fall a little bit more. Don't be rimming in and out now. He needs to fall, and I think he does have a lot of 3-point opportunities he passes up on. My mic just went out. I don't know what the hell happened there, but yeah, Jalen Williams, 0 for 3 from the 3. He has 3-point opportunities. He keeps on passing up on them, but for that mid-range shot keeps running in and out. But it's a good shot. It's open. He's able to create it, but he's been a really big factor in these last 2 games, keeping OKC in the games and making sure they're just somewhere near the Pacers, and especially in this one. And then Caruso's 20 points kept them in the game. Whether it's him hitting a 3. It's him being aggressive, taking it to the rim, drawing and one opportunities. Caruso has played it, but he has 2 20-point games in this finals. And then Dort, great defender. Who else was I getting to? Oh, OKC only made 3 threes this game. 3 threes, which is such a blessing to my eyes after watching the Boston Celtics go on that finals run last year. Just Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown just shooting threes left and right, and it's just boring basketball. Just not for shooting it in. OKC for only 3 threes, and they won the game. Also, Pacers only had 11 threes. They're not just putting up 25 threes a game, making them like the Boston Celtics. Great game overall. It wasn't back and forth, but it was close, and you knew OKC was still in there winning. When you got the MVP, as long as you're within 10 in the fourth quarter, you're in the game no matter what. You got the MVP in the fourth quarter, you're in the game no matter what. It doesn't even have to be 10, it could be 20. You're in the game no matter what when you have the MVP on your team, and it showed why he was the MVP in that fourth quarter. Now, Game 5, back to Oklahoma. Series tied 2-2, so you can say, oh no, they both dealt hell. That's how it's supposed to be. You both hold down home court, even though they split 1-1 each. Pacers, I think the Pacers after this loss is like, can we really beat this Thunder team now? Because they had it, but then they lost it. And that was a crucial series swinging loss for the Pacers. When it's in your mind already that okay, it looks like going to be up 3-1 heading back to their town. Now it's tied heading back to their town. And I think OKC wins the next one. I think this is a 7-game series. And coming into this, 5-game series OKC, like everybody. 5-game series OKC, want the Pacers to win. But OKC is so dominant, so good, especially after that Nuggets series, just shown that they are NBA champion. I think this is a 7-game series, and home court advantage can play a role. OKC is going to win it. But the Pacers have surprised everybody. This series has been way more entertaining than anybody thought it would be. And it's just entertainment. Huh? Game 5 in OKC Monday, so this whole weekend has no damn NBA. Weird one also. This was one of those games where it's only 1 day rest, not 2 days rest, so that's kind of weird how they gave Indiana the 1 day rest. But other than that, great game. 111 OKC, 104 Indiana Pacers. Game 5 Monday.